Hello, continuing on with Blue Merit Lashing. We are on lesson number 4. Lesson number 4 is the continuous lashing. Continuous lashing is for making things such as this. This could be a bed frame to keep you up off the ground, and you see this is how it connects all those the pieces going from left to right, the multiple pieces, and you do a continuous lashing for each side. So I kind of have a setup here. I have a V, and I'm going to use that to demonstrate on into my cross pieces here. So these are the pieces I'm going to lash. Okay, so normally when you would do it, you would cut your pieces and you would trim them to a little bit longer of each spot where you need it, and you can lay it out. Now I'm going to do this twice. I'm going to do it from what it looks like on top to what it looks like on the bottom. So I'll do the top. So first we're going to start with the top. Like all the other lashings, it starts with a clove hitch. So you take your rope and you find the middle. So I'm going to put the two ends together, find the middle. You want your rope to be longer than the length, probably a little more than twice as long because of the wraps you're going to make. For me, it's just easier to do the clove hitch on top, and then I'll twist it to the bottom. You can't see that, can you? Okay, so I went around the rope, the stick, right? Come on the opposite side, feed it through. So there's my clove hitch. What I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate it, just because of the angle purposes, underneath. Okay, so now I have a clove hitch. First stick, as you do is you take your two standing ends, you come over your stick. Then when you come under, you're going to cross them. I cross, and I come back over the next stick. Coming down, I'm crossing my two pieces. I come back up and I cross, okay? And then you run that all the way down however far you got. To finish, once I come down, I finish by I'm going to cross under, come back over for a full wrap around. You come under, and you finish with a square knot like we did in all the other lashings. Okay, so you can't see the square knot, but it finishes with a square knot underneath. So when you would do that all the way down, if your rope isn't long enough, because I'm using a short rope here, or your twine, whatever you're using, you can get more rope and then you just tie square knots from one rope to the next rope to make the ropes longer so you can go the full distance. But you want to start out with a fairly long rope. So just for ease here, untie my... So now I'm going to pretend that this is the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to come to the right and come to the left, stick my knot here. So here's a clove hitch. Okay, so if this was the bottom, it would come to the top, over my rope. I would cross it here, going back to the top and over the stick. Okay, the next stick. Okay, very simple. Come to the top. So all it does is cross and go over the next stick. Okay. So to finish it, like we said, we're going to cross. Instead of just tying the first time here, tying it, we're going to make an extra wrap. Come around and tie a square knot, making sure it's a square knot, not a granny knot. Okay. and I'm sure everybody's familiar with square knots. It's easy to tell if it's a square knot because it is in line with the rope. If it was a granny, it would be perpendicular. It would change directions. So that's as easy as the continuous lashing is. Now we use all three of those or all four lashings we used. The final project in lesson 5 is to make something. So suggested things to make is a table, a tool rack, or a Chippewa kitchen. I believe an easy thing to make was something similar to a table that looked like the sleeping rack. So instead of having it long like this, you have it more square in nature, and your poles that go across that you final lashing, you have a square table with 4 legs instead of a tree. And then you can use your square lashing for your 90-degree angles. You could even put some slant pieces in there and use the cross lashing for support, and finish up with the table.